how would you say, and I think this is, and if you know, right, how would you say a trader can pick out that this, I'm potentially being scammed here. This person or this entity is presenting itself as a broker. Everything looks good to me, but what can we give in insight over here to the end trader?
I would say just one simple thing. I wouldn't sign up with the broker that has no KYC or no onboarding processes. The ChatGPT, you can write a ransomware.
You can do whatever. Given in the wrong hands, Elon Musk says this all the time, and there's many thought leaders who say this. It can be very dangerous. Put in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. You can write ransomware. Wow. So you can also write really good code. So like there's the positive side, but we shouldn't be ignorant to the potential dangers. Here we are. Here's another session, podcast, Financial Frontiers. Today, my guest is a special kind of guest, Angelo from Dynamic Works. We worked quite closely in the past, where so much so that many people in the industry thought I was employed by Dynamic Works, but we were very closely associated. The guys behind the product called Centelico. Angelo, please introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you, and let's go.
First, it was an honor working together, and of course, we were flattered for people to consider you as part of our staff, even if you never was. But yes, we worked really closely, and I'm very happy about this. We helped each other a lot in the past. Now we've taken our paths, but we are still here. Friendship is there. So where should I start? From the very beginning, or the IT beginning?
I think let's put a bit of background. Let's build some context for the audience. The context. Let's talk about the beginning days of Dynamic Works, how it got into the financial services sector, how it evolved to become the product that has matured to today, servicing 50 brokers, whatever it is. And the target audience, as I've mentioned before, it's the end trader. So how is the members area, which is what's generally referred to in the industry, how is that important for the end trader? What is it exactly? And in the comments, maybe we can get some feedback on what they'd like to see from there. So
okay, my Dynamic Works was founded in 2003 by Giorgio and myself. We were still two partners, same shareholders from the beginning, both programmers, engineers. So back in 2003, we built a platform. It was one of the first content management platforms in the world, I can say. When WordPress and Joomla, Drupal, and all these content management platforms didn't exist. So we were kind of innovators, if I might say. And then a year later, 2004, we learned what a CRM is. So we decided to build an ecosystem where the outside world, the web world, and the back-end world, the back office of business, the internals can exist in one system. And that was one of the very first solutions introduced on the market with such a concept back then. So we were dealing with a number of sectors like real estate, hotels, banks, government for many years, building awareness. What is a CRM? What is a CMS? People didn't know. So we were creating awareness, especially locally. But at the same time, because that was a horizontal solution, meaning that it was it was appropriate for all the kinds of businesses, but with a lot of customization. So we always wanted to build a product where we wouldn't have to develop to do a huge development on every installation. So we didn't want to, even if we started from our platform for every different sector, we needed to build something else. So we were always in search of the right sector for us. And having the technology, we took, I can say that we took the opportunity when the financial sector appeared in Cyprus in 2011 to start learning about it and helping brokers, very few at the beginning. And since 2016, when we saw that we know a lot to make the move, we made a move towards the financial sector almost completely.
Yeah, I remember back then, 2016, it was one customer. It was one single broker. And that's when we started working together. And pretty much within a year, the talk with and the onboarding of the first 10, I was very much involved in that process, which was exciting. So just for the audience who might not know, so what CMS stands for is Content Management System. That's what the acronym is. And CRM is Customer Relationship Management. And just to because a lot of the audience might not know how all that ties in and what does a broker do. So, with these systems, how are these systems important? So CMS, and I think you're the right person, but I'll just kind of put the topic, the headline. CMS is all the content that you read on a website is edited and put in there through what's called the CMS. So it's the back end, the management portal, let's call it, of a website. For example, it could be any portal. So that's what CMS in my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. And in CRM, client relationship management is how a broker manages many customers at scale.
Yeah.
Right? So just to build that context for the audience. And I think what is more important for the end trader is, I think maybe the details around how the CRM works, the back office, obviously the onboarding, the KYCs, obviously all of that you've tied in. And I think, because we have already spoken about back office and KYC and stuff, which might be a bit boring, but I think the members area might be more interesting, right? Which is part of this whole comprehensive system.
It is one of the satellites. So if at the beginning you was asking about the traders and which are served by the members area, it's, as I said, we built an ecosystem. Even from 2005, it was an ecosystem. What is front facing to the people and what is facing the internals of the company. Just to give a couple of examples of a CMS, because we do have selected customers that use just our CMS, and even brokers that use our CMS for their websites in combination with the members area and everything else. For example, the Central Bank of Cyprus. That website is built entirely upon our CMS only. No CRM, just CMS. The Parliament of Cyprus. The CNP group of the insurance group. So we have an esteemed clientele still that are using our CMS, and it's very important for us because that's where we started from, and we still maintain that CMS for very special projects like this just mentioned. Now about the CRM, for the financial sector, it all starts from the CRM part, because the CRM is what is driving all the processes and the data. The CMS is used for managing the look and feel of the client portal, of the members area, the content, and it makes it very dynamic. And it's going to make it even more dynamic going forward. The next 3 months, we're going to announce new client data, which is going to be even more dynamic. And brokers can adjust it to their likings and differentiate from other brokers who are using Syntellicore, still retaining the professional UX, that user experience that they need to give to their members. So, but what the member, the trader, enjoys, first of all, is the onboarding. It's a collaboration between our company and the broker, and the help and the trainings we give them to create the best possible onboarding for their clients. Meaning, from simple onboarding to complex onboarding. It's a very flexible system that can with the same system, you can, even with the same CRM, you can create two different member areas. One, for example, for FCA clients, right? Which is a very complex onboarding, and on the same CRM to have another entity for the same company, even with slightly different branding, and have a different onboarding, because it's the requirements of the regulator are different. Then we add the automation that starts from the scoring, which is implemented by us. So the scoring that is needed by the regulators to make decisions on whether the trader is eligible for trading and experienced. And the fast self-verification of their documents, which is another important aspect that through the time it becomes as a standard, not as let's say a trend or an innovation. We're integrated with more than 5 KYC providers, meaning that when someone a trader uploads their documents, now it's normal that the documents go to the KYC verification engine, and then you get a flag if this document was verified or not. So the back office doesn't have to spend all this time to verify it. And it's done with combining the data from the document, which is read through OCR, and the data that we have on the platform. Is it the same? Is it similar? How similar they are? So this automated onboarding is another thing that the traders love. And then after their either self-approval or an approval with a manual, let's say, contribution of the broker, it's up to the broker how they want to do it. Then the trader can have their trading accounts on one of the multiple platforms that we are integrated with. So again, it's the broker's choice if they want to use MetaTrader, which is of course is the biggest. MetaTrader 4, 5, multiple MetaTrader platforms, copy trading platforms, CTrader, MatchTrade, DriveWealth. So we have a number of platforms that the broker can integrate with, and the trader they can deposit the money in one platform and trade in one platform, which is ours, and then distribute the funds on all the other different platforms under one profile. So this makes it easier, much easier for them, and also much easier for the broker to manage. So in a nutshell, these are the most important things, not to mention the reporting and all the things that the trader can enjoy
That's quite one massive nutshell. There's so much to break down there. Okay. And just want to go a bit back with some of the acronyms you mentioned there. KYC obviously stands for Know Your Customer. It's an obligation by institutions, especially in the financial services sector, to know who their customer is, and that's for money laundering purposes mainly. And what that basically means is that they're obliged to ask of every customer the basics, and plus on top based on the regulator. So the basics being, your first name, your surname, your ID, proof of residence, etc., etc. And all of these are needed for specific reasons. Like proof of residence would be for tax purposes. If you're in the US and you're a resident of the US, then obviously different tax applies to a US citizen that then the broker, the financial institution needs to report on. So that's what KYC stands for. The FCA you had mentioned before, that is the regulator. I can't remember what the acronym stands for. Conduct Authority, Financial Conduct Authority, whatever it is in South Africa, right?
No, FCA is in the UK.
Oh, in
FSCA in
FSCA South Africa,
yes.
FCA is in the UK, right? Yes. So, and all these regulators have different requirements that need to be incorporated into the client's journey. So you mentioned different things there, and I'm going to give you the segue to one of the points that I think is quite interesting to dig deep into. So, based on the regulator, there's obviously different requirements that the broker needs to adhere to. And in the client's journey, which is built by a platform that, like Centelico, that you've created, is exactly what the client experiences in the system that you've developed.
Yeah.
So the client's journey is, where's your residence, where are you from, so it picks up, your location, and then based on the location goes to the relevant regulator. So one broker could be licensed in the FSCA, South Africa, and the FCA.
Yeah.
Different regulations apply. Being leveraged, for example. So if somebody has submitted a form and have signed off as they are a citizen of South Africa, obviously that opens them up to more leverage. And then the different pages that they'll find in their journey while they're onboarding gives them different options to eventually get to the members area and the subscribed account, their activated account, which gives them access to whatever they're entitled to based on what they answered and how they filled up the KYC. And another one is where you mentioned scoring for regulatory purposes is their experience. So if somebody is experienced, then they will be able to, first of all, be onboarded with the broker. If they're not experienced, then they will be entitled to just a demo account until they get experience. This is all the regulation. And for the broker side, they do scoring also for their own purposes based on the client's financial status. So they could have a VIP account, which opens them up to more access to, I guess, different instruments or more exotic products, whatever it is. So all of this is what the system, like Centelico, a system like Centelico, has been built to do. It's that client process, that onboarding process to the account that they're entitled to.
It's the first thing that it does. I mean, it's the first client-facing thing that it does. Plus, not to mention the ability for the broker to build their own client-facing applications on top of Centelico. We have brokers that build their own mobile applications, and they onboard people like. We also have a mobile application. Also, before we created ours, we have businesses, very well-known brokers, who build their own front-facing application on top of Centelico.
Right. And what's interesting for the end trader here is that they've got one central location to manage multiple accounts that could potentially be on different platforms. And that consolidation is something, I guess, that's convenient, especially when it comes to reporting.
Yes.
So you mentioned, let's talk about then copy trading, because you mentioned copy trading. And what kind of feedback have you seen in the industry that's important for end traders? And what is copy trading? Let's start with that. What's copy trading, and how does it tie into the members area, and how is it useful, and what's it valuable for the end trader?
First, we're not copy trading experts. We're just integrated with copy trading platforms. But to answer the questions as the best way I can, copy trading is when a trader is not so experienced and they want to, let's say, copy someone else's actions and investments who has proven experience and success. So what happens is that when they enter this IntelliCore client area, the trader can see those copy trading providers, who is people with proven success. They can see their success record, and they can choose the one that they feel more comfortable with. And I'll say, I want to follow this trader. They click a button, they open an account that follows that trader, and according to the funds of the investor's account, the funds are invested accordingly, along with let's say the master, the copy trading provider. And they can, with a single sign-on that we have in the client portal with the copy trading platforms, they can, of course, with a click of a button, go in their copy trading environment and manage their investment.
This being on this side of the fence, in this industry, there's all these solutions that come up that are not necessarily from one single company, right? So you've got the likes of MetaTrader or Drive Wealth or Match Trade. They provide the trading platform, and then on top of that, there are these third-party add-ons which are very interesting also for the end trader. Copy trading being one of them, the MAM, the PAM, multi-asset management, percentage allocation management systems, which are all, related to this managing money, portfolio management. And what's been really challenging, and I would imagine for you, for IntelliCore as well, and I saw the bit of the process, when we were closely associated, is this massive challenge on trying to incorporate all of these different solutions that are from different providers into one comprehensive, system that's also, and here's the big one, user-friendly, right? So when you mention single sign-on, right, what that actually is, what that means is it's convenience for the end trader.
Exactly.
I log into one platform, let's say it's the members area, and then from there, I create a trading account. Now, it's an inconvenience to need to remember and then to use another platform to log into there. And then there's the copy trading. Now, that's another platform. And I need to remember different passwords for there. And then when I transfer money from the members area to a different platform or an account, you can get lost. And single sign-on is a technology, right, that makes it possible with the click of just, I want to access that platform. You don't need to remember passwords. It's all in the background. That's what people like you are there for, right?
Yeah.
The tokens and all of that stuff, which is super complex, and
that's our job.
That's your job.
Yes.
And then the end trader, all the experience is click. Oh, it works. What does this button do? Click. Yeah. It works. But there's a lot of work that's happened behind there.
There is, and it's amazing that they can go in our platform and then they can click. They have, let's say, 4 accounts or 10, and they click on one and say log on to MetaTrader, and they log on to MetaTrader WebTrader in the same area. They don't need to leave, and then they have their deposit buttons and money transfer buttons just in front of them. They have their trading and their deposit and new account opening just in one screen. Then they want to copy trade. They click and they go to the copy trading provider. Then they want to, log on to CTrader. They could do that as well. Click on the CTrader account, pop, CTrader, same area. And that's amazing. This is what they love. But as you said, is a lot of things in one platform. Plus, I mentioned KYC providers. I mentioned over 80 PSPs, payment service providers, that are integrated, and cashiers. And how we solve this problem, thankfully, we solved it from the very, very beginning. You was there, you saw what happened. We came up with that idea. Let's create an area where you can manage all the modules and all the add-ons, and we called it App Store, right? So I want to manage the integration as a broker, the integration with MetaTrader. There is a MetaTrader app where you go in and you can do everything that is relating to MetaTrader. How can I manage Praxis or PSP or Shifty Pros or SamSub, the KYC providers? They all have their own apps. So you go in and you configure your integration there, but the trader doesn't know. The broker knows that they have a system with a great architecture, which is very relieving for them, because we don't need to code every time we need to do something. We distribute the same code everywhere, and the configuration is made on the App Store, which is actually changing parameters on the database level.
Yeah. And, it's not necessary, and I think especially for the small to medium sized businesses that are in the sector here, to get involved in every single one of these different technologies. You'll spread yourself too thin. Like Dynamic Works with Centelico, for example, doesn't need to get in and understand the AI and biometrics and stuff and how all of that stuff works, which is, it might be super interesting, but it's not the focal point. The companies that you mentioned before, Shifty Pro, SamSub, these are technologies that do the KYC. And what that KYC is in automation, where you mentioned, and just to build a context here and let the users understand, is somebody does the KYC and then they need to be verified. So it's that, the same thing that we see at the airports, right? You put your passport in the scanner, you take a picture. It verifies, it's all AI. Do you see any other areas that could be improved with AI for the end trader, around the members area? Obviously, I'm trying to read your body language, and I think there's some confidential stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, they cannot come up because in this conversation, because they are confidential, obviously.
Yes.
But yes, but there are some things that I could share. We are, okay, I wouldn't say, that at the first stage, okay, our implementation of AI is towards the brokers and the management of their call center, the priority for their client. Like you mentioned before, that we register the wealth of a customer during the onboarding, and then we can monitor the activities of the customer, and that could contribute into a machine learning. That's something that we built, although we don't build the AI for documents and for other things. Although this is something that we are working on to give them the agent of a brokerage the priority according to all the records that are related to that trader. We're going to call next. We're going to put our efforts on who is our best clients, who is our second best client, and so on and so forth. And that's not defined only by their trading activities. It's a combination of things, like the KYC, is their deposit frequency, withdrawal frequency, it's their net deposits, it's their trading, of course, it's the amount of money they spend, it's their loyalty with the brokerage. So that's some things that are coming up together with an entire BI tool that we're building in the background that will accompany Intelligor for the broker. BI means business intelligence. So we're, although we have the most important management reports that they would need, we know and we feel that there is a need out there, and actually it's information that we gather from our clients that yes, we have our reporting, but would like more. Some of them use Intelligor because we open the database to them and they read the data. They build their business intelligence alone, especially the bigger ones, because they can read the data and they have the teams to utilize and build their own intelligence. But now we're going to give them this tool in their hands with Intelligor out of the box. Another thing that is coming up, as I said before, is a new client area, which it's going to be modular. So with the same, because of our experience with content management systems for 20 years. By the way, we're celebrating our 20 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thanks. We managed to build an eco system, which is kind of a client area configurator where you can see a client area and you wouldn't know that it's a Intelligor client area or a custom client area. You can have a totally different look and feel, and of course a 2023 look.
You know what's interesting that I've realized is, while a company like Intelligor, Dynamic works with Intelligor, the focus point is brokers. This happens where you stumble upon a really valuable solution that can be with a small adjustment can cater for an end trader. So, when BI, as you mentioned, it stands for business intelligence. What that is it reads off of data and produces a perspective or analysis from the data that is not easy to see just by looking at tables with columns and numbers. So for example, your top 10 traders, or the most traded symbols, or most active region, and as they say, an image is 1,000 words. So these are produced in pie charts or bar charts or whatever it is. So easy to consume, easy to absorb in a visual. And if you just make some small adjustments, some meaningful reports can come through for that end trader, which then could be a product that the broker itself can offer, an add-on and a value add. For example, the broker could say, if you're a trader with us for 6 months, whatever, to increase longevity, you're entitled to, special reports. Obviously not what you have to obviously make mandatory by regulation. The trader needs to know, what they're losing or winning, right? Yes. It's important, but these value adds are quite interesting, and I'm sure you've had these kinds of conversations with your customers. And
you prove another time that you always come up with good ideas. One more time. Yes, it's of course our priority is the broker, because the broker communicates with us the needs for their traders usually, because the broker is the one who is in touch with the trader, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but we're not coming from within a brokerage as a team. We're technologists, we're purely programmers, and I think it's good. I consider it as good that we're, let's say, if I can say, we're neutral in terms of not having worked on ourselves at the brokerage before. But on the other hand, we tried to gather information from the insights of the brokers, and many times even we create so nice relationships with even the UBOs of businesses that can tell us their pains, and I'd like to give this to my customers and the other things, and we learn every day from them. And at the end of the day, yes, the result is for the trader. Even though we built for the broker, the end result is a benefit for the trader.
Yeah, I keep saying this. We're in the B2B space. We wouldn't exist without the end trader, right? At the end of the
absolutely.
day, it's the traders that exist around the world that are fueling this industry. Let's talk about trends. Let's talk about trends, because a company like Centelico obviously dealing with whatever it is, 50 plus brokers, and I'm not too sure if you do dive into these statistics much, but if what kind of trends are you seeing through the 50 brokerage firms, in terms of the traders, the jurisdictions that are up and coming, what kinds of products, or technologies that are interesting. So we were talking now about Apple and Android. Are you seeing any trends like that? But let me give a specific question, because it's a little bit general. Around the trade, like what trends are you seeing? Which jurisdictions are up and coming, and what products are mostly traded, if you know?
For us, we have certain jurisdictions that are busier than others. We have Middle East. We're very successful in the Middle East. Of course, we have size like FCA. But these are like closer to us. I'm just making it more broad now. Middle East, South Africa is big for us. And especially South Africa, I could say that is still trending towards retail CFDs, mainly. But we see in other jurisdictions, like in Europe, and that now brokerage, they are the onboarding for stocks, even for strict regulators, is much easier and faster than onboarding for CFDs. So I could say that a concept that we see it's kind of trending is that you can onboard with Centelico, because we have a layer in Centelico where you can give to your customers different services. So even with the same jurisdiction, you can have different onboarding for someone who wants to trade stocks, different onboarding for someone who wants to trade CFDs, and different onboarding for someone who wants to become a partner, like an IB or a business introducer or an affiliate. We have this layer, and we can split the onboarding, and one can complement the other. So something that we see is that a broker can onboard clients for stocks, and then give them the option to trade CFDs. CFDs will be a little bit more like questions or a couple of more documents compared to stocks. So they can, let's say, make them their customers for stocks first, and then for CFDs, and then maybe they can give them also the option to become affiliates or introducers of business. That's something that we see that is happening. So I mentioned Drive Wealth before. That's also something that is coming up for shared stocks. It's kind of a trend.
That's interesting. And so Drive Wealth, how would one access Drive Wealth? Obviously, the brokerage firm needs to have the Drive Wealth platform.
Yes. It can integrate with us, and they can offer the service.
Is it a platform, or is it an exchange or liquidity provider?
I wouldn't dig into this much because my knowledge is limited.
No problem.
We integrate with them, and the broker can make their plans. I'm just
So let's talk about then IBs then. I think this is quite interesting. IB stands for Introducing Broker and Affiliate. And this is a really important topic for brokerage firms because it's how they generate business. So a trader, any trader is a potential for an IB because if you refer business, you can earn money. If you refer someone, what kind of money can someone earn? I mean, if you know, right? So in an IB, I know we were involved in the creation of the Centelicore IB system.
yes. At the beginning, when you was involved as well as a partner in the design of the system, we designed the system so that introducing brokers would earn, let's say, a share from the client's trading based on different parameters. Let's not go into details now. And introduce also other introducing brokers, so we call them sub-IBs, who introduce others, and so on and so forth. So these would go at the real depth of different layers, right? And our system can be configured to allow an introducing broker to make money from introducing clients and sub-IBs, and has the intelligence to make sure that there will be enough funds to pay them all. So that's if I can say this in a simple words. And then we introduce the affiliate part of that, which is affiliates usually earn from introducing clients, and they earn from the deposits or net deposits, usually. And we have an ecosystem for the affiliates, which is under the same module that gives them also connectivity to read information about they can send clients through API, application programmers interface, to the Centelicore of the broker, and then they can read information through that. We give them the necessary tools so that they can work around that. And it's a very powerful tool. And that I'd say that would be very interesting for every broker to see it, because it's one of the most powerful introducing brokers and affiliate systems in the industry.
Yeah, and I remember when I was involved there, and the sub IB with sub IB. I think it was very interesting, especially in the Asian market, where the depth, it can go quite deep. But at the end of the day, there's only so much revenue that that there is to split amongst multiple IBs, and that's when you explain to somebody what an IB system is, and you tell them it's got the ability to have sub IBs and sub IBs, they're going to immediately think that there's some kind of a pyramid scheme. But we need to clarify that it's no such thing. It can obviously go to a depth, but as it gets deeper, the person is right at the top. If there's a fifth tier, they're earning cents, right?
Yes.
It's not a lot, but it's an incentive that's designed in the industry from legitimate brokers to bring more business at the end of the day.
Yes.
And who are the IBs? Who are these affiliates? Are people that have some form of following, or influence, or a way to attract traders and introduce them to a broker for the incentive, of a revenue share. and a revenue share that should be fair, obviously. So I think what's valuable for the end trader is just to compare, because there are some bad participants, there are bad people, brokers out there, or
and bad IBs.
And bad IBs,
Yes.
Who incorrectly, give false information. And if you're going to get introduced to a broker, just make sure that you're not being ripped off. Compare the pricing. And that's why, where could an IB earn money? And this is where the broker earns money. And it's on the spread. So how much difference there is between the buy and the sell. It's on the commission. The charges charged on trading, there is a certain charge there. And I don't believe that brokers share revenue on the swap charges, which is the other place where there is revenue to be earned. So it's on the trading activity. At the end of the day, it's trading activity.
Yeah, for the IBs, yes, but for the affiliates, it's also on the deposits.
Just the deposit. But it's a once-off.
Yes, maybe leading through, per lead. That's another way.
Yes.
We have other options there that are not related to trading, and they're actually, the IBs are not acceptable by certain regulators, especially in Europe, for example. But the affiliate commission on deposit, it is considered, let's say, more legitimate.
Of course.
Yes.
The affiliate model is a lot cleaner because the money that the affiliate earns, and you can correct me. You said it, but the bottom line is the money that the affiliate earns is from the marketing budget of the broker. It's not based off of the precedent that the trader will trade.
Yeah,
it's not based on that.
It's a marketing expense.
It's a marketing expense, and as long as you bring me somebody who has subscribed, I'll pay you.
Yeah.
Right? And that could be, an affiliate could be somebody who's not even involved or understands anything about the industry, but it just knows how to bring in traffic.
Yes, and very good in marketing.
And very good in marketing.
And you mentioned bad brokers before and bad IBs, and I want to say a few things about that. We've seen a lot happening in the industry and changed the industry in the last 1.5 years. And we should, all of us in this industry, the technology providers should try to avoid working with bad brokers. We had to terminate clients because we realized that they were bad brokers. And they were not. They were doing some illegal things. So that's something that we have to be careful. Even though sometimes we may not realize, because we give the option to the broker to install first of all the systems on their servers. So we have nothing to do with their data or their what they're doing. But even if they are on our cloud, we're not, let's say, we're not involved with their data. So we don't know what they're doing. But when you realize that they're doing something illegal, you have to do something. We need to, you mentioned traders. Trader is important. We need to protect the traders.
I couldn't agree more. I agree 100%. For the longevity of our own business, these bad participants need to go out of this industry, because they're just, all that's going to happen is it's going to stop. It creates a bad name. So it is our moral obligation, as within the B2B space, to eliminate, exterminate, get them out. Whoever is has got a selfish intent, or complete, like, flat out illegal, fraudulent attempt to scam people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people might say, I hear this all the time. What are you doing? It's revenue. You're throwing away money. Well, I don't want dirty money.
No, it's 100%. And the people, that have the right morals are important. So I think what might be valuable here, and how do we do that? We do that with platforms like this, where we talk about it.
Yeah.
If you come to our awareness, I'll mention, we'll mention names. Whoever. That's I think the way to handle it, at least to a certain extent, and also awareness. So, how would you say? I think this is, and if you know, right, how would you say a trader can pick out that this? I'm potentially being scammed here. This person or this entity is presenting itself as a broker. Everything looks good to me, but what can we give in insight over here to the end trader?
I would say just one simple thing, because it's not my specialization to.
From your experience,
I never trade. First of all, I think you know that. I wouldn't sign up with the broker that has no KYC or no onboarding processes. That doesn't want to collect my documents, doesn't want to collect my personal information, doesn't want to confirm that I have a genuine email address or a phone, and they just take anyone. And I would check if this broker is regulated, or at least if they have a bank account. Bank account is important. If they have a bank account, it means that they exist. And this is a practice that is done by many vendors and big trading platforms, from what I know. The existence of a bank account with a broker is very important. But for the trader, I would say to not onboard with a broker that doesn't ask you for anything.
I agree. So, if their only question to you is, their only communication to you is send me money without asking more.
And I will take it a step further, send me crypto.
Yes, because I was going to, 100%. So I was going to get to that next point is, if they don't have the regulation, like banks are also a financial institution, and they're even more strict than the brokerage firms, in terms of tell us who you are, and we'll give you a corporate account, and it's there's a lot more strict. Let's call it.
Something, we sign up for a Revolut account, business account. Actually, it took long to set up because there was a waiting list there. We finally made it there. And do you know that they ask for a receipt, an invoice and a receipt for every single transaction we do?
Yeah, I know.
For anything we pay.
I did the same.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
It's a pain, but
yes,
you feel safer.
But it's necessary.
Yeah, it is. Of course, the local banks, let's say in Cyprus where we're based, they know us personally. They know us for 20 years. We have been customers with them for so many years. They know that we're doing legit business, and we have every proof that they request for every time. So they will ask once, twice, 10 times, 100 times. Then they would ask you only if they see that the money is coming from an unknown source or yes, and they will send the proof, the agreements and the invoices to prove that. But yes, it was with Revolut. It was. I mean, are you paying a hosting provider? Give me the receipt, even if it's a hosting provider.
Yeah.
Even if it's a domain that you bought or something like that.
So obviously, that does, give. It is a really good place to look at. But it's not, we don't want to mislead anyone. Don't automatically assume that if the entity or the person that's communicating with you to trade has a bank account, that they're going to be okay. That's not.
No.
It is a good.
It's
place
one of
to
the.
start.
It's one of the pluses. Yeah.
It's a good place to start. If they have a bank account, that's one check. And and by no means is what we're saying here complete or comprehensive, fully comprehensive in terms of, checking. Make sure that they're regulated. There are also other tweaks like on the domain. look if it's got the SSL, you know, the speak
But
with it.
especially is what you said. Click, give me your money. No questions.
Yes.
Give me your money, have an account, trade. I don't need anything else from you.
Yes.
Brokers can still, and actually it's based on the regulation of Cyprus, so that I'm not misunderstood, at least from what I know, is that they can onboard clients, okay, and allow them to, they will ask for information, allow them to deposit and trade up to, I think, 2,000 euros for a period of time until they collect everything. That's a different story. But for, click, I don't need anything from you. I will not need anything from you. Just pay is questionable.
Yes. And also, you mentioned crypto. Again, the same applies on both sides. There could be a very legitimate broker who accepts crypto payments. If
we have many.
Yes. So there's no one rule fits all. If they accept crypto, they're bad, or if they have a bank account, they're good. It's a combination of many things.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And I think what could help also a lot is when you speak to different people and just do an online search, see what Google comes up with, maybe even speak to the regulator. People are putting their hard-earned money, and in many cases, which is heartbreaking, where they put their pension and they lose their, these people need to be eradicated. Interesting. So, Angelo, look, we've been speaking for almost an hour already.
We still haven't covered everything.
We haven't covered at all. And I think there was a few really...
There's one thing that I wanted to say about the trends and
yes.
Brokers are keen to give an option for their clients to have a nice and user-friendly native mobile app on their phones. So that's something that it has been done for some years now, but now it's kind of it's a necessity. And that's where we came in and we introduced our mobile app, which is white label mobile app, and can be offered to brokers, and they can still in the mobile app trade using MetaTrader, WebTrader, for example, the original WebTrader that looks like a part of the mobile app. So that's something nice that is coming, and it has all the most important functionalities for a trader to be on the go and use this. That's something beautiful, and something that all the serious brokers, if I may say this word, they want to offer to their clients. And that's again something that proves that the broker is serious, because they invest and they make an effort to and they are approved by Apple. They are approved by Google to have their mobile apps out there on their app store. So that's another plus for a broker, I'd say.
Yeah, and obviously the world has changed. And we're a good 15 years in on the smart, the mobile based world we live in, and just to you mentioned white label. What white label actually means is a broker that abcbroker.com has a certain brand. They're blue and red, for example. Yeah. They take a white label from a business or a fintech provider like Dynamic works with Centelicor, and gives them this app on a white label where they can kind of paint their brand colors on top of this. That's what it means. So it's branding. So ABC Broker with their blue and red has the same app as XYZ Broker with their green and gold.
And it can look different as well. I mean, and also it's uploaded on the broker's app store, as I said. So the broker has to be approved by Apple, has to be approved by by Google to have their mobile out there. It's not on our app store. So and it's theirs. It's like they.
That's definitely a good way to look at it, and also, that they invest in the technology. If they're putting the effort to add more value adds to their clients, that shows the right intent. If they invest in technology, if they're giving more value adds without asking for more money, and just making it available so that the end trader has a better user experience and a better overall experience with the broker, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign. Good. And I think, just kind of closing comments here, the mobile app is a good place where we are today. But I think, and who knows, how the future is going to change, and what platform will be the way we trade or interact or communicate with each other. Right now it's, the mobile. Later with augmented reality or, some other form or means, voice. I think voice will be a new interaction channel, right?
Yeah.
Place it, and that could be initially through mobiles, but maybe later through just common devices that are implemented around us. I want to place a trade, and your voice is authenticated. Your voice,
Alexa everywhere.
Alexa everywhere, exactly. Alexa everywhere, listening. There's also critics. There's this book now that I'm reading, System Error, where they speak about this. Maybe too much technology might not be good for the human race. And I don't know if I agree with all those points in this book. I've just started it, but it's interesting. It's good to look at.
Look, I think that everything that comes with the risks, and AI, ChatGPT comes with a risk. Also, it's something that we started implementing within Syntellicore, and we're gonna come out with some nice tools based on ChatGPT. But the ChatGPT, you can write a ransomware.
I know, you can do whatever. Given in the wrong hands. Elon Musk says this all the time, and there's many thought leaders who say this.
Yeah.
It can be very dangerous. Put in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. You can write ransomware. Wow. So you can also write really good code. So like there's the positive side, but we shouldn't be ignorant to the potential dangers.
Yeah, actually we train our team and we ask our team to use it as much as they can. It writes nice code, sometimes with a few flaws, but that's, I think, temporary. It's gonna fix itself. But we utilize it a lot, and it helps our productivity a lot.
Same as us. We've incorporated it, and we've started now in DGM as well. We were approved for the GPT-4 API, and we're building it in our daily process every day, and that's around what we do, admin side, on the platforms, the bridges. It's interesting stuff.
Very. It's a new era.
Yes.
A new era.
The next 10 years are, who knows? And here's the other thing, who knows where it can go? It is based on the people who are driving the industry. It's people like us at the end of the day. It's what we make of these technologies. If you've got a good intent behind it or a bad intent behind it, that plays out, I guess, in the natural kind of evolution of things. But how things will evolve, and each person within their own sector, Syntellicore, we're at DW, have started. Who knows what could come around, the conveniences that will be created around a members area, or a central place where somebody manages their money, and there are different platforms. Who knows what could come up? But
Yeah.
there are leaders in the field that are doing that as
I believe
works.
that they definitely need to regulate it.
Yes.
Yes. Like ban the bad things.
Yes. You see, the thing is with the regulator, it needs a participation from everyone. The regulator always will add a policy or block something once the damage is done, right? They're always after the fact. The people who are leading the field, again, the innovators, as long as they're morally correct, you cannot, obviously, you cannot think about everything. But if your intent is good, a lot of bad things can be avoided. And then also it's the user, the end user who will actually, the consumer of the product. Feedback from everyone is important, I guess, in the evolution of any new technology. It's just really interesting where this goes. So, Angelo, let's do some closing comments over here. This is a really interesting conversation, as always. I remember we went to Hong Kong. I've got a really funny video when we were super hard working. I remember that it was just you and me. It was the beginning days. We did the Sintelicor had the booth. We were selling all day, working as we do. And then it was also the final day, so we also wanted to experience Hong Kong. And then we did the shopping and whatever it was, and then we wanted to experience Macau as well. And it was middle of the night, and I've got the video with our cigars in the mouth, and it was a really funny video.
And I think that we missed the ferry back, and we took the last one or something.
Yes, middle of the night. It was
funny.
Yeah,
but we saw Macau. Remember that the next time you was going to go to Macau, there was an expo. I told you, don't go. COVID's going to go there before you.
Yes,
you remember
that's
that?
Correct.
Yeah.
I do remember. I was about to book my tickets, and you told me, don't do that. There's this new thing called COVID. It looks like it's going to be bad. I'm like, Angelo, you're just being overprotective like you always are.
And I did the same with my wife. I told her we wanted to go to for vacation in northern Italy. Okay, I told her, let's do a free cancellation. Let's pay a little bit more to have free cancellation because that thing called COVID will come to Europe. And, it landed in North Italy.
Yes. Wow.
And finally, we canceled the vacation and everything. I think it's gone.
Yeah.
It's good. We're back.
What a period that was. So, and it's changed. I think it has changed a lot of industries. It is, accelerated, the online sector, businesses, meetings, whatever it is, trading. Our sector during the the lockdowns, 4-5x. Some of you saw this.
Yes, I saw this. We experienced this. You experienced this for sure.
Because what is it? What is a person going to do? They're sitting at home. They're very bored. Trade.
Yeah. Especially the first year was amazing for the brokers and, of course, for us. But it's over now, and we're back to the kind of old pace with a much stronger product and a much bigger company. So we're very happy for our path. We're satisfied, and we look forward for the next things.
It's been an awesome experience. So, Angelo, thank you very much for your time. Let's do some closing comments here. Where can people find Angelos, Dynamic Works, Sintelicor?
Yeah, people can, of course, find me on LinkedIn. But Sintelicor, they can read a lot about Sintelicor on www.sintelicor.com. we are always very happy to give presentations and explain Intellicore to our potential customers. And I try to participate in many of these calls because I like to meet our potential clients as well. We do these either in our office, if they're in Cyprus. We have 2 offices in Nicosia and Limassol. We have new offices in Nicosia, an amazing industrial space before the entrance of Nicosia. And we have also offices that we built about 2 years ago, new offices in Limassol that we are also growing there. And of course, online, Teams, Zoom, we can arrange meetings. When everyone communicates through Intellicore.com, the message will come to me, absolutely. Given this opportunity, of course, I have to mention my partner for 20 years, George, who is, of course, is always available to help our customers directly. Even though our team is almost 40 people, we are involved. Yes, growing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angelo, for your time. This has been good, and wish you all the best for the next decade.
Thank you. Thank you. Dinos, thank you very much for everything and for inviting me to this podcast. It's been an experience.
My pleasure. It's a wrap. Good.